welcome back. So, episode 2 of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime season 4 builds perfectly on the momentum of the premiere, shifting focus from broad political development to something far more engaging, the dungeon system and the chaos breathing inside it. The episode kicks off with Masa, Yuki, and his party entering the dungeon's 30th floor, immediately throwing us into action. While his team fights bravely, Masayuki himself ends up delivering a heroic moment completely by accident. He trips, his sword breaks, and the fighting blade just happened to kill a monster and save his teammate. What's hilarious is that everyone interprets this as pure bravery. That misunderstanding spreads across Tempest, boosting his reputation and even increasing dungeon traffic and trade. It's a classic Tensura humor, luck mistaken for greatness, and the world just rolling with it. But while that moment adds levity, the real tension comes from the introduction of Team Green Fury. Unlike the usual adventures, this group is progressing through the dungeon at an alarming pace. Rimuru initially lets them continue, but that decision quickly backfires. It turns out they have discovered a loophole using the recording crystals and returning whistles. By resetting their party and multiplying their numbers, they essentially turn a small group into an army, breaking the dungeon's intended balance. This is where the episode really shines. Instead of relying purely on action, it leans into strategy and world building. The dungeon, which initially felt like a controlled environment, suddenly becomes vulnerable. And to make matters worse, Hinata had already cleared out bosses from higher floors, leaving no real challenge for incoming players. The system is broken and it's entirely unintentional. Rimuro's response is what makes this episode so satisfying. Rather than panic, he innovates, he introduces pseudo souls and master codes, allowing characters to create and control monsters directly. It's a clever solution that not only patches the problem but also add a new layer to the dungeon mechanics. And instead of just fixing things behind the scene, Rimuru, along with Milim, Veldora, and Ramirez, decides to personally intervene. What makes this episode stand out is its balance. It blends comedy, tension, strategic thinking without losing momentum. The humor with Masayuki contrasts perfectly with the looming threat of Team Green Fury. At the same time, the episode avoids feeling repetitive by shifting away from political discussion and diving deeper into gameplay like mechanics, which is a big part of what makes the series enjoyable. Visually, Studio 8-bit continues to deliver consistent animation quality. The action scenes are smooth and dungeon environment feels alive and dynamic. More importantly, the pacing is tight. There's always something happening, whether it's a joke or reveal or a setup for what's next. By the end, the episode successfully raises the stake. What started as a simple dungeon exploration turns into a system-wide problem that demands immediate attention. And with Rimuru and others stepping in directly, it sets up as an exciting confrontation in the next episode. Overall, this is exactly what a follow-up episode should be: engaging, smart, and fun. It's not only expand the world, but also introduces new conflict that feel fresh and meaningful. If episode 1 was about setting the stage, episode 2 is where things truly start to get interesting. Thank you for watching.